everyone, I hope you're all well today. Today's reading is going to be, should you move away from this relationship, and if so, how? You have got three choices. You've got the Ace of Spades, you've got the King of Wands, or you have got the Seven of Spades, which is swords, but looks like the Chariot. So who knows with this one? So number 1, number 2, and number 3. If you want to take your choice, then we'll get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, I'm going to put more cards out, pile number 1, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking. There's a feeling here that your person has got something about them, and it makes me think, and I don't know why I'm thinking this, you know, when you have planets, this is not right, there's no sense whatsoever, it's just something, it might make sense to somebody. When you have planets in the late fire signs, and for some reason I'm thinking 26 degrees, and I don't know why, that could just be something personal in our family, but it's mixed with water, and people are very magnetic. They don't even have to say anything or do much. It's a type of person, this is your person, that draws people towards them. A lot of the times they've got very beautiful eyes. They've got something about them that seems very accepting about other people, but they've also got, with a bit of fire in there as well, the ability for you to perceive anyway that they're going somewhere in life. So I've got a feeling here there's something like a magnetic draw to this person. It feels like it's shrouded almost in fantasy or imagination, or there's bits you've built around this relationship, this attraction, that are quite otherworldly, and this person plays the part beautifully. And you're never quite sure whether it's them or whether it's your imagination, because on the surface they may appear quite masculine, which is strange because I haven't even got that here. I don't know if it's the Ace of Swords next to it, makes me think of something quite cutting, something quite sharp. But the Seven of Cups and Neptune there are all over the place with regards to what they want out of life. You probably can't pin them down very easily, but there's a feeling here as well that there's also that sort of Hollywood illusion thing around them. You know, a real charmer that probably doesn't even know that they're doing it. And you're coming across here with the Empress and Chiron. So that to me is very nurturing. And Chiron's a really funny one, because to me Chiron feels, often case when it's very strong in people's charts, they are very good, and it's quite painful, almost like Neptune, but in a way that's not so lost in itself, that actually wants to go and do something and help people and sort out situations and understand patterns. Where Neptune is just totally swimming. You can pick up vibrations in a room. Chiron, I think, you know, we talk about, well, I talk about I do to myself anyway, vibrations and how you pick up things, and people say, well, astrology is a load of rubbish, how can you do that? And my husband, not the least bit interested in anything like this, but can tell me people's charts, you know, because they can tell me people's main signs, normally the sun or the moon or ascendant, like you can tell it like that, unless it's something on an angle as well, and you can do that too, because he's been listening to me rabbiting on at him for, I don't know, 35 years. So this to me feels like you're picking up this person's vibrations very well. You also feel like it's your job to heal them, is what I'm saying. And Chiron is very good at, and I was trying to say actually before I got sidetracked then, that it's almost like Chiron's very good at being not psychic, you can see where people are coming from, and it's almost in an otherworldly sense. But there's also mixed and matched between that you want to help that person almost adjust, and this person you would really want to help them adjust to what it's like to live in a hard situation, and which is basically, and I say this quite a lot, you know, us here. And it's never easy, is it? And I mean that life can be fun and life can be easy, but all those people you fall in love with, all those babies you give, this sounds really morose in the morning, you know, give birth to, you know, we end up being separated at the end of it. And I can remember my Dalai Lama saying that must have been about I don't know, 20 years ago. You know, it's painful. It is painful, which it is, but it's not. It's what you make it as well. You've just got to enjoy it and see it for what it is. So I've got a feeling there's something very healing about you that wants to help this person. This person is very charming. You're very drawn to them. There's a very, very sweet emotional connection. The King of Cups here and the Ten of Cups here. And once again, you've got the Three of Pentacles in the middle. But with this card, with the Moon and my King below it, this person blows your socks off with regards to firing your imagination and firing your desire to be with somebody. This to me feels difficult to handle for you. There's got to be a reason why this person is in your life, because this feels very strong with regards to how it affects you. And it affects you on an emotional level, and it affects you on a very deep sort of, I'm going to say visceral then, but I don't even know what that is. You want to know more about everything. You want to know, why do these situations come up? Why do you feel some sort of synchronicity when this person turns up in your life? You know, why do you possibly catch other people that look like them and aren't them? Because you're thinking about them quite a lot. This person has an effect, I think, quite an easy effect on lots of people. And I've seen this type of feeling with children, mainly female, mainly with girls. And I don't know whether it's me, but I can remember there was two of my daughter's girlfriends. One was like a sister of a girlfriend when they were very young, and they just had an otherworldly pull about them. And to me, it was a mixture of fire and late fire. Late fire signs and Pisces. Could be other water, but to me, I'm feeling Pisces there. And that's a difficult mix not to be drawn to. I mean, I'm trying to think of it from other people's points of view. Like if you're really earthy, maybe not so much. I don't know. There's still, it's if you want to help them, but they're also, it is that sort of Hollywood feel about it. Like they need healing, because there's always that thing, they see people with like 10th house moons and they're in the public eye and they feel as if they're living their life in the public eye. But unless you've got a really strong basis, a really strong foundation, there's no way you could fling yourself up into that heightened atmosphere of being in the public eye unless you're rock solid from the bottom. Because you're almost like on the firing line, I think. The more famous you become, probably the more you're on the firing line. Who was saying about, there was something I was listening to, I don't know who it was talking about Taylor Swift. And somebody asked her, and it was like almost not this energy, the complete opposite of this energy of, could you give anybody advice who wants to be famous? And she said, get a good lawyer. And that has this feeling about it. You can almost see that this person is protecting in some way, but the connection has swept you off your feet with regards to how you feel emotionally towards this person, how you actually connect with this person emotionally. And it's strong admiration from your point of view. This person, don't take this the wrong way, but almost fills a hole in your life where you want to be swept off your feet, where you want a little bit of something that is not just going to Tesco's, going to work and the mundane. There's nothing bad about this power. This person isn't doing it on purpose. This person is just who they are. You read vibrations very well. You read situations very well. But in this scenario, you've also, your empathic nature is also wide awake and very involved with this person. And sometimes it can feel a bit muddled. And you probably haven't done this with any other person before. Okay, let me keep going. Okay, I'm back. Should you move away from this person? And if so, how? Is what we're asking here. And to be honest, looking at these cards, I don't think it's necessary to move away from this person, because there's something very loving in this connection, and I think that it may be bringing out the best in both of you. You're coming across as the King of Cups in between the Moon and the other, well, in between the Moon and the King here. So this is somebody you've put in a pedestal, I think. Is it a pedestal or pedestal? I don't know. But with the King of Cups here, it makes me think that the affection or the emotional connection is quite mature, and that you're not actually looking to get anything out of each other. It's like you're giving because that's who you want to be, and you really have a strong need to protect this person, it feels like here with this card. They are just who they are, and they're not doing it, like they're not playing games. It's just a connection that they think is very good, and it feels really close. And your advice down here is the Fool, the Ten of Cups, and the Knight. So with the Fool and the Ten of Cups, to me, it feels like a lesson that you should be going through anyway. It feels like it's been put into place for you to be able to see how you connect with this person, how you express yourself emotionally, how much can you prepare to give. Maybe with the Neptune here, where are your boundaries? And with the Fool card here, it's do it anyway. It's like do it and don't actually... Because you've got the Knight of Swords here, which is quite a cool card with it. You've got a feeling here of... There's a strong feeling of boundaries all the way through this, but not to stop doing it. It's a case that you learn who you are, how much you can give, how much you can take, what are you really looking for in this connection that feels like you can grow through it. And the Fool card there is, to me, with the Ten of Cups, is like express yourself emotionally anyway. You know, let this person see how you're feeling. There's not a lot of hurt in here. You expect with Pisces as well, and you connecting and wanting to somehow make this person's life better in some way. It may be just part of your nature. But you've got the King of Cups twice here. So this does actually feel like a very sweet connection where you may have got slightly lost in it and almost meeting them halfway with regards to illusion and fantasy. But the advice again is to... Okay, the advice here is that do it anyway. And with these two cards here, it's making me think of somebody who... we met abroad when we were very young, probably very young, like in my 20s, and this man was giving out, and I've said this in another reading, he was giving out like tickets to clubs and bits and bobs, and he went out of his way to make sure that everybody was going where he thought they may be happy, and there was all this sort of, it wasn't just doing it, I'm sure he might have been in commission, but there was something else in his personality that was very giving, and he just said, I like people to have fun. There's something here with that feeling that you should be looking at this relationship with that thought in your head, just to have fun with it, to enjoy it, to indulge yourself in it, but you've got to have some sort of boundaries. But with the Knight of Swords here, it's like you've got to be able to, with the Ace of Swords there, slice through the whole situation and be totally honest with yourself. Know what you're doing. Know what you're both doing. Know where you both stand, but enjoy it for what it is anyway, because there's nothing false about it. It is just what it is. But you've got to be totally, I was going to say scrupulously, but what is that? Honest with yourself all the way through. Not that I can feel that you're going to get hurt. It's just a case, it feels like you're learning the balance between getting lost in a relationship but also being truthful with yourself and the other person. Because this to me is mesmerising. The whole spread is mesmerising. It's lost, it's experiencing, it's protecting, it's boundaries, it's admiration and falling for somebody quite deep, and a feeling that that is what you're supposed to be experiencing. But with the Knight of Swords at the end, which is a core one, and the Ace of Swords here, it's like make sure every day when you wake up with this person that you give what you can, but also make sure within that next second, the next thing you remind yourself of is that you are projecting something that you need to experience onto this person. And they may somehow along the line change their, I'm not saying run away from you, but they may change with all this Neptune here. And you've got to remember that it's you that's projecting onto them a lot of this. And it's beautiful and it's part of you. And to see things beautifully, you must have beautiful goggles. So this is lovely, but you need to be firm with yourself and get lost in it in the same time. So should you move away from this relationship? I don't think so. I think you're supposed to be in this at the moment. You're supposed to be experiencing it. It's part of yourself. It's part of you expanding your emotional nature. It's part of you experiencing how to let go. And it's part of caring for somebody and loving somebody for who they are rather than what you can get out of them. And the Empress card here on Chiron, it's like you understand that already. And it feels tough. Even if you can't get close to this person, with the Neptune here, that could be quite possible. If they are in a difficult situation somewhere else, like they don't live by them or they're with somebody else, it's still, you've got to appreciate that you can still love somebody even if you can't hold them or have them. And I don't know with this spread, but being honest with yourself every day saves you from the experience of getting hurt later down the line. It's like, shrug your shoulders, that was part of my life. We're not meant to own people. We don't own anything. Unless, you're thinking like, you can't stuff it into your coffin, can you? You can't stuff it. You're not Heathcliff. What do you try and get in the coffin with Catherine? We can't do it. It's all about experiencing, and this is experiencing love and beauty and protecting and giving, seeing the beauty in somebody else and sharing that. And it makes your day, month, year, 10 years far more beautiful to be with this person than not. And it feels like being open is part of the whole process of you being more of yourself. You could have Cancer there, and just protecting and being open, is part of what you're supposed to be experiencing here. But the Knight of Swords is to remind you every day, nothing lasts forever. As I said right at the very beginning, which is a bit of morbid, and to just be here and enjoy the moment. So I don't think you should move out of this relationship, but I think that you should be incredibly, painfully honest with yourself, but not so much that you don't experience the love with this person and the giving without any thought of receiving anything back. Right, pile number 1. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. I put these cards out by accident. I wasn't meant to put them out, but because it was so automatic, I kept them there anyway. Your person's coming across as the 6 of Wands and Venus. So there's a feeling here that your person, makes me think, is very busy, very popular, with Venus and the 6 of Wands there, but there's loads of bees around the hive here. So it makes me think of somebody who's difficult. You're difficult to catch, difficult to, this person's always like late in texting you back, or you can't actually get them on the phone, or you've seen them and then you just can't get to talk to them, or you just can't grab them, or they're off doing other things with these cards here. You've also got the 7 of Spades in the middle, which looks like the Chariot with the 2 horses. So it feels to me there's like a tension in this spread of 2 people trying to get together, but it makes me feel like you're at the end, both of you at the end of bungee lines, and you're pulling and you're pulling and you're pulling, and you almost get there, but you just don't quite. You're coming across as the Sacred Fire and Ceres. So to me, that feels like, especially with the Tower card, this person's had a huge effect on you. With the Ceres and the Sacred Fire, it's like something that has burnt, touched, ignited your soul in some way. It's like a person that comes into your life, and you may never have looked at tarot readings before, but because there may be this feeling that you just want to know more about it. It may be your first time that you've actually switched onto a tarot channel, and you're looking at it to try and understand why on earth is this person having such a large effect on you, such a big effect on you. You've got the 2 of Swords and the 10 of Swords and the Ace of Wands here for your situation. So I'm trying to find out the person's personality to see if it fits for you, your attitude to the situation and what's going on between you before we look at whether you should be together or whether it's time to move away. The Two of Swords and the Ten of Swords together make me think of, especially with this bungee jump feeling, that you can't get together. Maybe it's ended, maybe the situation has ignited at one point and it's fizzling away, or it's fizzled away, and you don't know which way to go, because this person, you know, these candles here, they lit your fire in some way, the sacred fire, the candles. It's like this person touched you, not literally touched you, but in some way, as I said earlier, ignited something in you that you haven't felt for quite a while. And the Ace of Wands here makes me think of Eros. It's like that burning creativity where you feel as if your person, if they're not in your life, then your life doesn't quite shine as you feel it should do. Does that make sense? I'm trying to put it into different words. Let's just say you're engrossed in a situation, whether it's a work situation. Let me try and make it something exciting that probably only I can relate to. You're going abroad, you're meeting lots of different people, and there's lots of communication, and you're busy and you feel good about what you're doing. And then that contract ends and you feel, and I'm thinking of, what's the big yin? What's his name? That Scottish comedian. Forgotten his name, big ginger beard, and he said that when he was on stage, which I think must happen to a lot of people, and he was touring and he was a centre of attention, he was very quick, very funny, that when he would get home he would sink into depression. This has this feeling that this person has made you feel alive, and now there's particular situations or long stretches where you're not together and you don't quite feel the same, and you're always trying to get that burn back because you think that with the Ceres and the Sacred Fire, this person's meant to be in your life. And a bit like pile number one, you feel that there's some sort of need to love, cherish and hold this person, but your person feels like they are all over the place. Six of Wands is somebody who's attractive. Venus once again makes me think that. So and busy, always off doing something else. So there's distance here is what I'm thinking. So at the moment I'm thinking your connection to this person is quite painful for you because you feel it. It's quite, not obsessive isn't the word, but you want more to make you feel like you're lit. And I don't mean lit as in cool lit, but lit as in it lights you up. And this person, I also get the impression that your person's not a thinker in many ways. They experience life rather than reflecting and understanding it. You want to know why you're connected to this person. That's why I said earlier about you probably looking at tarot cards and astrology. And if you do that anyway, you probably don't do it quite as obsessively with everybody else as you do with your particular person now. But there's distance. You're trying to get that fire back in your life, although you can't quite catch them. To me, it feels like. What's that film where can you catch me or something? Catch Me If You Can. Yeah, catch me if you can. Your person could be quite a charmer. And I wonder whether you have to watch them flicking into other people's lives, other people's situations with those qualities that you fell in love with them for. And there's maybe a slight even touch of jealousy there. I don't know. I don't mean jealousy as in I'm going to stab you if you show affection to somebody else, but more a case of I wish it was me. That type of feeling, which isn't jealousy. That's basically just jealousy. Whatever. Okay. Okay, right, let's go. Right, what can you expect from this situation? You're burning deep down inside for this person. There's a really, really strong connection where it feels like you just want to be close, and this person is impossible. It feels like that slime that you used to get as kids. You know, you used to get it in like little dustbins, and it's just green and it flobs through your fingers. It feels like you're trying to hold on to them and they're slipping through your fingers all the time. What you're going to get from this person, I think, is never going to be straight. Well, not for the near future anyway. You're going to get an emotional connection. This person's attracted to you. This person wants to be with you. And it feels like they just at this moment in their life haven't got the amounts to give that you need. Because this is quite a dramatic. You've got the sacred. fire, and you've got the Tower here, and this person's busy and sweet and on the surface. And what he's giving you, what she's giving you, is busy and sweet on the surface with lots of trying to guess what else is going on. And you're doing more of the guessing than they are. They think, oh yeah, lovely, attractive person, the connection is beautiful, like to be with them, got to go off and do this, and you're left thinking and trying to understand. And oftentimes with these piles, I think that's part of the process for you to try and understand life in general, as in, like, I don't mean that in a flippant way, but in why are we attracted to certain people? Why do they come up in certain times in our life? What are we going through? What are we going to learn? And, you know, what do we learn about love in general and how we interact with people? How can we relate that to our children, you know, as we were as children, and our relationship with our parents? It's all questions. And so often I think in tarot, that's probably the most interesting thing about tarot, is it makes us look at ourselves and the parts that we play. And you can't, if you're interested in tarot, you can't go through life thinking everything is everybody else's fault. I mean, obviously we all act from our own volition in so many ways, but you know, we all play a big part in it too. And most of the time, you know, these people that come to you are your teachers, which sounds really corny, and I must have heard it somewhere in some magical book that was probably hardbound, hardbacked, yeah, and very like sort of cloth bound. But that is the feeling here, that this person is here for you to understand your depths, even if they're connecting in a very simple way. And maybe that's all that's this person has got this person. And sometimes when you've got this fire inside you and you've got quite intense emotions, you think everybody's going to meet you on the same level, and that's not true. I mean, my dad was this, very surface level, loved life, and absolutely perfect with his attitude to life and how much he got out of small things. We always used to joke with him, because he always loved dancing, but he used to have a pair of dancing shoes under the bed. It was his only pair of shoes. All he had was, it must have been his second pair because he was wearing a pair, but he had a pair of smart shoes under the bed, and they were called his dancing shoes. And whenever he went out dancing, which he loved more than anything, it was his dancing shoes that he would get out. And all he wanted to do was be with friends, and experience that connection with other people. And this has got this feeling. You've got the Six of Wands, which is very Virgo, very busy. The Six of Wands isn't this card is. Venus is very surface level in regards to love and beauty. And in other directions here is like the slime that you can't quite get hold of. Not your person is slime, but it's just something that seeps through your fingers, because you're coming through with intensity and connection and warmth, which is beautiful, but people can't always match you on that level. And you come across as the Princess of Cups here, and the Moon here with regards to, you know, what are you going to get in the future? It's still very what you would call not enough, what they would call beautiful. What a beautiful person, let's get together, let's get our dancing shoes on together. And you're like, hold on, when are you going to, when are we going to have more? Right, so let me keep going. Do you know what? You've got exactly the same advice as pile number one. So it's the same theme running through this pile as the last pile, but in a different way. You've got the Strength and the Ace of Cups. And to me, that is to love, to love, to love, to love. The Ace of Cups with the Leo card. You are meant to love everybody. You are meant to love this person. Even if it's hard on you, that lesson of having that warmth inside you and sharing that with this person. And I said this in pile number one, and this isn't just laziness and trying to pick words from pile number one. Regardless of what you get back, you are here to love. And I know you might, some of you might be writing, I've had enough, which is fair enough. That's got to be your decision. But with regards to this pile here, this person hasn't got any ulterior motives or bad intentions. This person is just different in their love language. This person's like my dad. doesn't mean that they don't love you just because they don't give love in the same way. You know, and sometimes, and I'm thinking about this a lot lately, with platonic love. You know, platonic love wants to be embroiled in the situation and wants it to be passionate. And I understand both sides. And with the horses in the middle and the bungee jump scenario here, you're meant to find the balance in the middle, even if you don't get to touch all the time. It's tension that brings the best out in you. And we're talking about you in this situation. You know, should you move away? No, I don't think so. But you've got to be prepared to carry on with what may feel like you can't hold this person, or your intensity can't be outplayed in a situation with this person as you would like. I'm not saying it never will be, but for the moment this person's busy somewhere else. But you've still got to, it's like, you know, in a very childlike way, you're feeling this passion or this pull towards this person, and what you want to say, if I'm not getting it back, then, you know, I'm off. But this is saying, why? Why would you say that? You know, you've got something to give this person that could make them be bigger and better. And in doing that, without wanting anything back, because it's going to feel heavy on you, you will make yourself feel bigger and better. It's like, this is like easy touch with almost like a burning soul inside. And that's what I mean. You know, it's like, it is honestly, it's like two people on bungee strings getting this far, holding hands, and it's like this all the time. And you've got to accept that for a while, I think, and learn from your own experiences and question yourself on, you know, why would you want an intense connection at the moment? And I know it's difficult, because if you've got a really passionate personality, and some people have, just as much as this person may be very simplistic in what they want from life, which is absolutely perfect, beautiful. That type of energy makes me want to cry sometimes, because I could see it in my dad. And he had it spot on. He was happy with everything simple. This type of energy I feel too. And to me that's spot on. It's having a real fire and a zest, and you want to experience life in a very sort of emotional and passionate way. Absolutely beautiful too, but both of them are games. And with this Strength card and the Ace of Cups here, you know, meeting in the middle, and it being quite heavy for you, I guess, it's like recognise the game and love anyway. Even if it's your own style, it may not match. You've got nothing to lose apart from learning more about yourself. So hold on, let me just do your last bit here. No, I'll just do two. Yeah. These cards are almost identical. These last two lines are almost identical to pile number one, and it's saying exactly the same thing. And it feels like you may be getting the Page of Cups from this person, and the King of Swords is your ability to be extremely cutting and clear and honest with yourself. You know, if you could write down on a piece of paper, what are you getting? I've got a pen here, yeah. Is that yours? No, you can't see it. What am I getting from this person? And you wrote it down. It may not be undying love, total attention. They come and see me 3 times a day and they want to marry me. It may be they smiled at me, they helped me, they made me feel good, they held my hand when I needed something, that type of thing. And with the King of Swords, is acknowledge that, because in a simplistic form and in the simplicity of it all, it's absolutely perfect. It just isn't probably what you want at this moment. But the Page of Cups is all this person is giving and has to give at the moment. And the King of Swords here is you being honest with yourself, so you don't end up in complete pain, but you still enjoy it. So same as pile number one, pile number two. Don't give up on this. This is a lesson. This is you experiencing life in full honesty and in full form, from different situations, different childhoods maybe, different drives, but in the centre there's something where you touch each other, that you both almost become part of each other. They experience part of you with this energy, and you experience part of them. And there's something quite beautiful about that. Okay, I'm going to leave you there, pile number 2. I wish you well with that, because that is love, different personalities, but very lovely. I'm going to go. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. I've just put some of your cards out already. Your person's coming across as the hidden strength, but with the 9 of cups beside it. And I keep putting these cards out automatically, although they weren't supposed to be in my spread. So I've just kept them in there. I did the same with pile number 2. They've also got Chiron next to them here. So the hidden strength with Chiron gives me a feeling your person's very good at reading situations, understanding people's motives, understanding that life's quite painful, going through possibly difficult situations in their life up to now. Could be childhood, could be teens. It feels like somebody that's experienced a lot, but in doing so has the ability to see life for what it is and keep themselves on an even keel. It's strength of character, and it makes me think of somebody like in a caring profession, or somebody who works with making other people's lives better. Because to have this on the surface, which is, you've got this deep down in your nature anyway, is the ability to be confident in their love nature, I suppose, with all the cups behind, but be confident in who they are and know that they've got something to give. That's what it feels like with this strength and this experience behind. Now, on this side, you're coming across as Vesta and the 9 of cups. So to me, on the surface level, this person's coming across as very amiable, very sweet-natured, very sociable probably. Even if it's quietly, it's in a way that's quite open and includes people and is very warm. You're coming across as your main card as being that. So there's also a feeling here with regards to swapping the big 3, like your ascendant and your moon and the sun, that this person's ascendant may be your sun sign or your moon sign here. But you're coming across as being the complete opposite from pile 1 and pile 2, as being a more easy breezy connector than them. They're coming across as wanting strong connections in love. You're coming across as it makes me think of friends that I know who have been loved since they were young. You know, that sort of person that's just happy in who they are, not looking for approval, not really caring about, and I mean this in the best possible way, what other people are thinking, doing. It's just like, I am who I am, and I connect and I feel connections, and then I'm on to the next thing. So that yours has got a more beautiful ease with yourself. Theirs has got an ease initially on the surface, but there's more going on deep inside your person. Now, there's also a feeling when I got these cards out, the 10 of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands with the turtle with the eggs inside, and you did have no underneath here, whether the situation, the relationship is somehow untouchable with regards to other people involved. And you've got the 8 of Swords here, so I don't know whether it's other people involved. There's something between the pair of you that can cause anxiety. It feels like 2 people that get together and wonder if they're going to get caught out, or wonder whether you've said the wrong thing, or the people were listening, not hearing, because this is like connection, but this is a connection that may have to do with family that's quite in a traditional sense of children involved, established family relationship, and the 8 of Swords here has got anxiety. If it's not that, and your person, I'm talking about family here, and you're both coming from different mindsets, I guess, you could be coming from a situation or a home environment where you've been accepted exactly who you are. The type of child that parents just adore or love automatically. Imagine that. And I'm thinking of a friend who I've got who's very fiery, and when we used to get together when our children were young, it was always like she was put on stage, the child was put on stage because mum adored her and loved to show her off. There's that feeling, or just a connection where you're very similar to your parents, and there's a strong bond between your parents. And your person, although is very easy themselves, may not have had that, and there may be some, because this is family situations, this is an anxiety and trying to fight through it with this card, is that may be the difference between the pair of you. And this reminds me of a scenario when I was about 20, and my best friend was like this, and that's why I loved her, because she was just fun to be with. She had no hang-ups. We used to travel a lot together, and it was always, you would come home and you were driving back from the airport smiling all the way home because of everything that you got up together. But I can remember saying to a woman in work that we used to go and sit by a pool, and she used to have one of these girls that had like little handbags. You know, I would end up carrying her towel in my bag and everything, and she'd have a handbag, and she'd be trotting around in like heels, and she wasn't actually in heels, but it was that type of thing. Things were spangly. There was lots of sequins, and I can remember men falling over sunbeds trying to get to her because of her bottom in the spangly bikini. But this is why I loved her. But this may be going on between the pair of you, where you feel like you're carrying the towels. No, they feel like they're carrying the towels and you're more easy breezy. Sorry. Yeah, it's you that's coming across as more of spangly bikini bottom girl. You know, life is fun. You connect really well with people. The Page of Wands, it's like life has to be exciting, but you're not that much bothered at the moment whether it's you're embroiled in it. Your person is coming across as appearing like that, but there's more going on below the surface, and I wonder whether that causes some sort of anxiety between the pair of you. This is opposite from pile number 1 and 2, where I feel that the person having the tarot reading is a more intense nature. So I don't know. There could also be, as I said earlier, scenario here with the Eight of Swords where the anxiety could be caused because of something in between the pair of you, like children and another relationship, something established, something controlled, something with boundaries around it. With the Four of Wands here, you know, it could even be mortgages or houses or separate houses. One has to be sold. There's like mothers and structure and parents and family in here. And so I don't know which way that might go, whether it's upbringing or whether it's the situation at the moment. Let me put a bit more on this. Oh no, I don't want those, I want these. What can you get from this? This is the second time this King card comes up. Most of the time it's like you get tarot cards and you get spare ones that aren't actually in the normal playing cards type of setup. The King to me makes me think that you admire this person. You know, you're probably projecting on what may be a very, easy disposition that you carry around inside you onto this person as well, and this person just fits the bill. It feels like they're going to be fun, and it feels like there's admiration from your side onto them. And the Eight of Wands, to me, this feels as if the relationship is fun. It feels the Eight of Wands, it feels like sexy, flirting. This has got more of a childlike feel to it than all the other spreads. Your person's got, I guess, maybe a difficult childhood or an inner depth or wants to understand situations more than you. And you're just looking here at the moment to enjoy it, to connect, to physical attraction, admiration. It feels like fun, this pile here. And it feels like you're getting it. And it feels like that could be more, so it could grow. Because you've got the King of Wands here and the Eight of Wands and the King here. It feels like you're attracted to somebody who wants life to be bigger. And it's really, if you've got fire placements in there, it's really in you. It's like it's really clicking into these, and it feels like you want to party together. And I don't mean actually literally go out to a party, but it could be, but that's what you want to do in life. There's a feeling here as well that in the other two spreads, it was totally different, but you could enjoy this connection even if it wasn't going to last anyway. There's a more playing with life feel about you. There's a more adventurous feel about you, and your person has that personality too. And I think that's where the draw is. But there's something in between here where maybe they can't play at the moment because of other restrictions, I guess. But this is very beautifully fiery fun. attraction, love, chatting, talking, playing, flirting. It almost feels like there's that shouting at each other out the windows feel here. Because these cards with it's like, you know, when somebody's like walking out of work, or whether you see somebody that you actually have the, it's like shouting something rude out the window and you're both laughing. It feels like that. And you feel the type of person that if it was a work situation, you were shouting something, this person would walk off shaking their head and smiling, while you would turn around to your friends and say, yeah, they fancy me. That type of feeling. Because it feels nice and it feels funny. Okay, right. Okay, let me keep going. This is a difficult one. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking here. You have got a, you know, I said earlier there's a feeling of family involved here, and I'm wondering whether your person or you are already in a connection, as in like married, because there's a traditional feeling here and some anxiety and trying to break through. And this part here, I'm being totally honest with you, so you can help me read these, is your advice. And you have got the 10 of Cups and the Hierophant and confidence here, and, you know, winning, and that to me is like a marriage. And you've got the King of Cups here. So I'm going to have to put more cards on here, because I would want to say, to be honest, which is a big say, so take it with a pinch of salt, that this person could be marriage material for you. And I don't think I say that very often, because I don't want people to hang their hat on anything, because it's a general reading. But that's what I'm thinking. So, and I'm wondering whether interpreting these cards differently, being very sort of traditional and strong traditional connections, like getting married and, you know, spending a long time with the same person, and this card here of breaking through, maybe you feel that already. Let me keep going to the last part, because I'm going to need it for this one. You know, this pile has a feeling that should you move away from this person, I don't think so. This person is a great playmate that holds more potential. This person could be a long-term connection. There's a feeling here you're getting the Queen of Wands, and you're coming across as the Queen of Wands here, whether you're male or female. It's somebody who connects and loves. You could actually be, with your Vesta card here and the Nine of Cups, you could be very good at nurturing other women. You know, whether you're a male or female, it doesn't really matter. There's something about sisterly love and connecting with Vesta, and the Nine of Cups here and the Queen of Wands makes me think that you do with a bit of verve. It's like other women, whether you're male or female, like to play with you. You know, you're fun to be with. You laugh, you make life fun, and it's like people are drawn towards you. The Five of Pentacles here has this sort of road going through it. So even though there may be a situation between you at the moment that's slightly restricted, it feels like the Temperance card here, if you can keep your cool, keep your balance, keep this playful, and don't get too intense in this relationship, that you could actually pull this person into what I guess is this energy, the same as you, and be that part of their signature rather than just a small part of their personality. So to me, should you let this connection go? No. And I think actually they've all been no, for different reasons. Your spread is very different. This has got something to do with self-expression. This has got something to do with, even though it may feel difficult at times, that I think that you have the presence or the personality to be able to hold your own, and the King of Wands there in the middle may actually just be you. You may be the one with the fire and the fun inside you that helps this person, and the connection could last a long time. So should you move away, I would say no. And you've got the King of Cups here at the end too. Now take this with a pinch of salt. It is a group, you know, it's a reading for many, but this, and I think it's the only time I've said this, this could be a long-term relationship with long-term potential. Right, I'm going to finish there. Pile number 3. I wish you well. I think that card actually was the centre card in the initial choice, so I may have to change that round, which you probably know that already. I wish you well. Bye.